Okay, so we're going to move on to another example of how we might use our two-dimensional list now that we've created it. So let's uncomment this section of section of code. Comment that back up. So we're going to extract the numerical part of the first field. So this is a little bit more complicated. We're looking at this first field, which has the word record followed by a number. So in order to do that, we're first of all going to do a for list and mod in two-dimensional list. So uh, mod is going to be one of the records, and we're going to say length is a variable, and that variable is the length of field 0. So field 0 is here, 0, 1, 2, etc. So we're going to find out what the length of that field is, because sometimes it'll have two digits and sometimes three. We're going to set a variable called numpart, and we're going to initialize that as a text field or a string field, waiting to build it up. And then we're going to say for a range 6 to length, so we know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the word record every time, so we can just start from after that, and it'll actually be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So starting at part 6 and going on to uh, length, we're going to do a for loop. The first single digit numbers, the for loop will be 1 long, and we're going to build up the number part by adding to it mod 0 I, the part in the for loop. So we're going to be running through the field itself, and then we're going to come out of the for loop and insert the num part back into the mod after in place 1. So we'll have record number, comma, number, comma, and then the rest of the field. So we'll actually be making the record longer here, and then this is going to remove the field 0 part of the mod record. So that will remove that first field, so the record number part will disappear. So this is all about taking one of the fields in the record and changing it, stripping away the text part, leaving the numerical part only, inserting it in as a new field, and then removing the old first field. If we come down here and we uncomment this out, we're now going to in this part, and so what this part will have done is modify our two-dimensional list. So it will have extracted the numerical part from the first field, inserted it in position 1, and removed position 0. So two-dim list, if we were to just print it now, would look different. It would have a first field which would be just the numerical part. And then what we're going to do here is for record in two-min list, we're going to print record. And the only thing that we're doing here is we're showing that now we can take the first field, 0, and coerce it to an integer. So we've stripped out the numerical part so we can coerce it to an integer. Record 3, which is now the age, we're going to coerce to an integer. And record 4, we're going to force to uppercase. So it's just a example of how we can change cases and make modifications to the fields that are still living in the records of the two-dimensional list. So if you look down here, you can see that the final field 4 has got its lowercase everywhere. So we'll try running this now and see what it looks like. So you can now see, after inserting the record number, if you look carefully now at what was record 21 is now 21, and it also doesn't have the string quotation marks around it, so that's now an integer number. So here are all the records. The other thing we've done is convert the age to integer numbers as well. You can see it doesn't have quotes around it, and then the final string field is now all uppercase. So that's some examples of what you can do, having read in the file and start to do things to the individual records, ready to use it for whatever purpose you need.